Do you believe that illegal entry at America's border should remain a crime?
Well, I haven't thought about that question. I just haven't thought about that question. I think the president has made clear that we are a country with the borders and with a concern about national security. I don't know of a proposal to decriminalize but still make it unlawful to enter. I just don't know the answer to that question. I haven't thought about it.
Will you continue to prosecute unlawful border crossings?
Well, this is again a question of allocation of resources. We will, the department will prevent unlawful crossing. I don't know. I have to admit, I just don't know exactly what the conditions are and how this is done. I think if I don't know what the current program even is with respect to this. I assume that the answer would be yes, but I don't know what the issues surrounding it.
Eric Holder described his role as Attorney General as being the wingman for President Obama. Am I right in assuming you do not view your role as Attorney General as being Joe Biden's wingman?
Yeah, Senator, as I said, I don't want to comment on any individual's conduct as any of my predecessors or FBI directors' conduct in any way. But I can assure you I do not regard myself as anything other than the lawyer for the people of the United States. And I am not the president's lawyer. I am the United States lawyer.
The Department of Justice sued Yale University for discriminating against students on the basis of race. Based on Yale's own data, if you look at one of its top academic categories when you control for academic achievement, the admission rates by racial category were as follows. Asian Americans, 6%, white applicants, 8%, Hispanics, 21%, African Americans, 49%. Do you think that evidence suggests discrimination based on race in Yale's admissions process?
My best recollection is that between my nomination and now, the department has made a decision about that.
The case was voluntarily dismissed on February 3rd. It's no longer a pending case.
So my recollection is correct. So these kind of cases obviously depend on application of the Supreme Court's opinion in the Gritter case and the Fisher case. And they require a lot of factual development and examination of the facts. These cases do not only depend on disparate statistics, but on all the factors the Supreme Court instructed the lower courts and the government as to what kinds of affirmative action in higher education are permissible and which ones aren't. So I honestly can't draw any conclusions without knowing the facts of the case.
So some of that Supreme Court case law about racial discrimination in higher education says that race can only be used as a plus factor. It can't be decisive in practice. It can't be a defining feature. It can't be the predominant factor. When Asian American kids are 8 times less likely to be admitted in the same band of academic achievement, you don't think that at least suggests a facial case of racial discrimination?
Well, I think that's the question that you look at for the underlying facts to know. I don't remember exactly the words of the Supreme Court opinions, but they seem pretty much exactly, what you just said. You can't have a rigid quota. You can't have a fixed. This was the consequence of the Gratz case, which was the companion case to Gritter. Gritter was the University of Michigan Law School. Gratz was University of Michigan as a university. With respect to Gritter, the court said it was a holistic approach and was permissible. With respect to Gratz, it said it was a fixed ratio or a fixed number and not permissible. But those are things you find out by discovery in the case and examination of what the actual practices of the university were, and I have no idea what they were.
Judge, did anyone in the Biden administration consult with you about the decision to drop the lawsuit against Yale University?
No, I have assiduously kept out of those. It's not appropriate for me to be examining anything like that unless you confirm me.
Will the Department of Justice, under your leadership, pursue cases of obvious racial discrimination in higher education?
Well, if you put it that way, the answer is, of course, yes. Obvious.
Well, I think this presents an obvious case of discrimination against Asian Americans. I suspect some Asian American parents and their kids are a little disappointed in those answers, Judge. I want to turn to the,
I just want to say I'm only giving the answer to what the Supreme Court said the law was. I can't do any better than that.
eight times less likely to be admitted.
My answer was you have to look at the facts inside.
Okay, I want to turn to another very important topic.
About your motivation and maybe some of your own family history in confronting hate and discrimination in American history.
Yes, Senator. So, I come from a family where my grandparents fled anti-Semitism and persecution. The country took us in and protected us. And I feel an obligation to the country to pay back. And this is the highest, best use of my own set of skills to pay back.